Friends, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We have a fun show for you guys today, and it begins.
Second episode of
His swelling still hasn't gone down after like a couple of days. It's oh, damn, those bees were like crazy, man.
bees. That's a battle scar. One on my chin too.
Yeah.
You see that? It's like a Shrek.
Anyways, the news is Israeli managed vessel was hit trying to sneak through the
Strait of
Strait of
Hormuz.
Hormuz, and I think Iran hit it. We don't know. They're not. It's not confirmed yet, but
claimed responsibility, but obviously was Iranian-made UAV,
Yep.
and apparently some other.
and it begins. So is this a beginning of something bigger? Maybe. What's going to happen with Israel, with U.S. troops pulling out of Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Middle East region? Basically,
To me, it's like a kind of like a crazy concept. We have pulled out of Middle East after spending trillions of dollars. So
we have
many
nothing
people,
to show
so
for
many
it.
soldiers, my comrades, so to speak, in the military, made the ultimate sacrifice. A lot of them, when I was injured, a lot of them had severe injuries, losing limbs and worse, burned. And now it comes, after all that, we literally handed over everything to Iranian government. It's pretty much
On a silver platter.
on the silver platter. Now, pulling out, so the word is so-called, we are going to be focusing on Russia and China. That's why we are pulling out the troops out of Middle East, which if it was strategic 15 years ago, I would say yes. But when you have openly communist movement in this country, openly advocating for communism in this country, how are you going to fight Communist Party of China if you have communist congressmen, congresswomen, a party that is totally communist right now? I would just put it like pretty much on the verge of communism, fascism, whatever you call it.
The communists in
The
training.
Democrat, because the reason I'm saying that, since this virus started, you haven't seen a single one of their leaders come and just bash China. Not a single one. Show me and I get you lunch, whatever, we just can hook up. I haven't seen none of them to come forcefully and blame Chinese Communist Party for all this chaos, catastrophe. And now they are not only remorseful about their support of CCP, they are over here infringing on our God-given rights, putting restriction on people. They destroy people's livelihood, trying to force injection. I don't even call it vaccination because that's not a vaccine. Anybody who says vaccine doesn't know what
we talked about it in the last
talking
episode.
about.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It's not a vaccine. It's just jab. Experimental jab. And all this garbage, we are going to be focusing on China. Oh, really? We better start focusing in the United States here, and people that are advocating for that kind of policies and garbage, that kind of ideology. I mean, we have literally allowed that to foster in this country for decades. Now, we are at the point of losing this country. And I'm serious. Like, when I came like 20 years ago, nobody would think, land of freedom, all that stuff, your individual liberties, even liberals, Democrats, everybody, you have the right to say that. But now you're getting to the point of just full communism. They're trying to implement that kind of draconian, fascistic policies and control over here on the population.
Now they're working on...
Okay? And to me, that's calculated, because if they cause so chaos here internally, then we are going to be weak to respond to communist invasion of Taiwan and even attack on United States. So we have to be very careful. We have to be blunt. It's not the time to pussyfoot around.
Look, how do you...
This country is in big trouble.
You have to realize...
economically and otherwise. There was what they call it, a liberal world order post-World War II. The victors of World War II came up with this economic system and all that, and obviously Nixon was the last president to get rid of the gold and silver standard to back the currency, and now we are free floating with hundreds of trillions of dollars in unfunded liabilities with no backup. And you have the infestation of communist ideology in this country going on for decades. So this is a serious problem. I hope for the best, but I'm not very optimistic. We will see how it goes, but we have to be candid. We have to be honest. We have to say the truth the way that we see it. And nobody should just walk on eggshell. Nobody should be feeling that they're going to be deprived of their God-given freedom of speech and expression for telling what it is, what's going on. And everybody feel it, everybody sense it with the inflation and all that. So this liberal world order is collapsing.
Look,
this is collapsing. They know that it's like any ideology. We talked about any ideology. You don't have reform, you don't have improvements, you don't have adjustment, you don't even stick to your core beliefs and ideas, and over time, if you change it too much, then you don't have those ideas anymore. So it means even the liberal world order that they believed in women's rights, they believed in individual liberties, they believed in so and so, they believed in some sort of economic safety net and all that stuff, that's being being destroyed right now with all sort of radical movements, even attacking that word. So it's not a conservative necessarily point of view, it's the radicals within the left destroying that ideology itself. So they don't know what they fight for anymore, so they have to come up with the most bizarre and crazy ideas that has no application in daily life of majority of people. And then through their towers of corruption and propaganda, bombard everybody with propaganda 24/7 to highlight that and make that important issue. But in reality, it's not important. It doesn't affect nobody.
Yeah, but you got to realize.
So that is collapsing, and that's why we see the effect.
If you go back,
I don't know what's going to happen, but
if you go back to history,
this is a process.
If you go back to history and see how a civilization collapsed, or like any certain power collapse, was the first thing had to happen was a division amongst the people. You have to create a division amongst the citizens and the people in order for one of them to collapse. It's the survival of the fittest. That's how it works. So when when Shah lost his power to the revolutionaries, those were the hardliners. Okay, ideology kicked in. You had a bunch of people
is totally upside down the society.
Who basically divided themselves from the other culture, who wanted the Western society, who wanted freedom. They didn't care about the Islamic presence in the country. Whether they were Muslim or not, that's not the point. The point was who's going to be the extreme. When you have an extreme presence, the more you yell, the more you threaten, the other side, they don't want to be at their level. They don't want to make themselves be like them. So they kind of, they kind of go away, and they
want to be left alone.
They want to be left alone. So they lose that power grab, and the extremists will come in, right? And that's what happened in Iran. Because Iran went from a kingdom to a republic.
Monarchy.
Right? They call it Islamic Republic of Iran. So, but that republic, it's an extremist republic. It's not the republic that you see here. What's happening now here? They started this whole thing started with Obama when he came into the picture. The division started then. This was all planned out. Obama came into the picture. Then they were going to have Hillary follow on after he was gone. That didn't work out. Trump came in. And that was their fireworks. That was their ammo to say, hey, now we could amplify the division with more propaganda. Trump came in. You guys saw what happened to the media. Media, they were on steroid every day, every second. Trump did this. Trump fought it. Trump had 2 scoops of ice cream. Trump did this. Trump support is this. Trump support is that. Trump support is this. Trump support is that. Before the end of his term, what happened? Had a virus all of a sudden. Interestingly enough, before he even got sworn in, while he was running, they were talking about it.
Impeachment.
They were talking about a virus. They were talking about a pandemic. They were talking, who's they? These are leftist Democrats. Okay, because Trump says I'm gonna decrease.
They're not even Democrats.
We're trying.
I would put them in a different category. Really
these are hardline ideologies. Like they just want power. They just want some sort of I don't even know what the word is right now. But this is what happened. They talked about a pandemic. They talked about a virus coming in. Don't you think, going back and watching this video, it's like, what the hell is going on? How is it all of a sudden, on an election year, we had this breakout? What the hell happened? All of a sudden, the most deadliest virus came out of China.
It wasn't deadly. It's just
Right.
Contagious enough to
Right?
get people scared.
Anyways, so when you create division, that's how society falls.
I don't have COVID.
He's the bees had COVID. But when you create
tasted their honey, but we destroyed the hive.
when you create division, you make the society collapse, and whoever's in power at that time, they're gonna take over. They're gonna take over your life. They're gonna take over your livelihood.
My big question to people is
this is the second jab of to finalize the division is with the vaccine and the shot and all that stuff. So they're trying to pin people against each other. Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. You're a Republican. You're a conservative. You're this. You're that. Which it's not true. This is all media hysteria because the media has nothing else to talk about anymore.
Anything that they say, just after doing.
Don't listen. Don't listen to media. For love of God, the cable news is the garbage of the society. Garbage of society. And I'm talking about everybody. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, every single cable news you watch is garbage. Every single one. From the conservative side to the leftist side. I don't care.
Of informing you. They're in business.
I don't care which side. From the left side to the right side, from the right side to the left side to the middle, they're all garbage. At this point, they have zero credibility. Zero. Do your own research. Make your own judgment based on what you are reading, what you are seeing. Okay? Not everything you read on the internet is true. You have to follow the sourcing of it. You gotta make sure the sourcing is correct.
Everybody has to just think on their own.
Okay, you gotta make sure the sourcing is correct.
What's good for your life, for your family, within boundaries of.
Anyways, we've been saying it for so many years, and throughout all of our podcasts that listen, propaganda is the biggest weapon of division. Okay, propaganda. Everybody uses propaganda. ISIS mastered propaganda. We thought Taliban was good. We thought you thought Al Qaeda was good. ISIS mastered it. Mastered the propaganda machine. And guess who's taking a lesson out of it?
People in Europe.
The leftist.
People in Europe,
the extreme
brainwashed
right.
to be.
This is how you get people on the extreme level.
And have created a society that you're pretty much reliant on government on many, many things. So even the most capitalistic country in Europe is just pretty much like one step a little bit softer than Cuba, in my opinion. Just I'm very individualist. So anything like that. And I've been to a lot of the European countries and I've seen it. So, and that all these countries, now you see that even those people that they brainwash from birth to the old age, that government has the responsibility to give you everything, provide everything for you. You look at the protests and public disobedience in Paris, in London, in other European countries. People have had it enough. You know, at some point I said, it's like a bully coming and telling you stuff and you know it's wrong. At some point you have to say no, no matter what the consequences are. And this country has incredible examples throughout its history, shorter history compared to some Asian countries. But from founding fathers, from many people that they sacrificed everything, they have incredible history of just saying no. You know, we came from a tradition and a history that for 1 penny tax on tea, they had revolution and they created their own country. And now we have policymakers, lunatic leftists over here calling for 90%, 100% taxation. And they think they can get away with it. And they would if people that just, obeyed. But I'm just saying that's a insider enemy. Insider enemy is more dangerous than your outsider enemy, because outsider enemy, you can identify that. And I was in the military. If a ship from China show up in our shores, you know there's an enemy. If they're trying to invade some ports, whatever, you know how to fight. You put up a fight. Look. But the insider enemies in public institutions, academia, and garbage media, propaganda, big cities. The reason I'm saying is anything in big cities is corrupt and you shouldn't trust it. That's for a reason, because these people have no good intention. They just want to destroy this system from within. Yep. That is their thing. Don Lemonade is not here. He's not a patriotic person. And I'm going to say it openly. He hates America. He hates America. He hates America. They come over there from time to time. They might do a pep talk depending on the reaction that they get. But you can see it in their eyes. They're saying it openly. They hate this country. They hate this country. And if you love this country, Chris Como, one of them, then there is going to be a point of organize, make your voices heard, stand tall, stand strong. You say no to bullying. You say no to this evil ideology. And we are not going to be just some Chinese Communist Party puppet over here. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Also, you got to realize, look, red line is. Look what's happening in France. Look what's happening in France. Look what's happening in Italy. People are standing up to the government, trying to like enforce them to get vaccinated and all that stuff. All this garbage that have been fed is with the best part is the January 6th probe, the probe that's going on right now is blowing up in their face, because now all these police officers, the so-called police officers they brought in to testify, two of them were crying. Two of them were crying because guess what? That's going to blow up in your face so bad. You don't even know what's coming. I'm glad you brought that up. Because this is another part of a division that we're talking about, okay? I'm glad you brought that up. This is another part of division. That's going to be for another episode, buddy. This is going to be... We're going to do it today? All right, we're going to do it today. I'm glad you brought it up. For several episodes... Let's take it away. For several episodes, I told you and our audience that Republicans, conservatives, anybody who loves liberty, wants to live a free life, they believe in the goodness of America and American people. They believe that we have God-given rights. Our rights not coming from the government. It comes from God. It's a natural right. Even if you don't believe in God, it's a natural right. It's your just human rights. And I said, we need to distinguish what we support and what we not support, right? When all this garbage, BLM, burning cities, leftist attacks, all this stuff started, Trump included, I like Trump, but he made a mistake. We support law enforcement, You can always have a caveat. We support good law enforcement in our area. Police is excellent, and we do not condone the violent action of police in Democrat cities. I mean, you can turn that over their head in a piece like a dime. Now, for 2 years, you have been saying, we support men and women of law enforcement and first responders and all that stuff. And you have Capitol Police, corrupt Capitol Police, that they are easily bending knee, right? These are not necessarily, I told you, anything in big city, I don't trust it. You sit over there with the medals and uniforms and stuff and sitting over there and crying and just, and making a scene like a baby, right? Oh, January 6th that, January 6th that. And then people watching at home, even Republicans, are going to be, these are police officers saying this, that might be true. I'm just saying I'm not saying it wasn't true or whatever. All I'm saying is I don't trust them. Anything coming out of the big city, that corruption, these towers of corruption that I've been talking about, and that was my word, great example that you should not be trusting, you should not be supporting any institution that touches that corrupt centers.
Of course not.
Big cities, particularly Democrat-run cities, major cities, LA, California, San Francisco, New York. You look at Baltimore. Is it just a destroyed? It's just a war zone, right? You do not need to support the police in Baltimore. That police is controlled by Democrats. That police their policies are written by city council, all Democrat.
Well,
every city council, you have a local police, state police and federal police. Local police, all their regulations are run by people that they are in charge of them locally. They're mayors and stuff. So if there is a incident on George Floyd, that policy was written under the supervision of a Democrat mayor of Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. So we shouldn't be, I support law enforcement and go ha 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 ha. Now you're shooting yourself in the foot when you have a few of the Capitol Police, a lot of them Democrats, coming and over there sitting with their uniforms and stuff and crying and all that. And now you have to, because you can't say, these police are not good, because you have been saying for 2 years, we support police. So you have to distinguish. If you don't distinguish, you're going to lose the argument. Anything that touches the big city, DC, garbage, all this corruption, absolute corrupt.
DC, I would not set foot in DC, man.
Do not support any institution that operates in those boundaries. Do not support it. It doesn't matter if it's a military-based thing. I'm a military guy. I love veterans. I'm a combat veteran. If there is a specific military organization coming over there, you saw that General Kelly, right? This is Kelly,
yeah,
right? Coming over, buckled knee. Obviously, he is a political person. He lives in D.C. What do you expect him to say? But if you come and say, I support, unconditionally, I support the military. No, I support people in the military that they are patriotic. They take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and they don't buckle knees against some radical lunatics just because they live in the city and they allow them to just run wild.
They have pink hair.
And now you are out of control. Like, literally, there is no control over there because they know that they control all that city, right? 90, even Biden get 91% vote in DC.
Who cares about DC?
No, I'm just saying
I don't care about DC.
I'm just saying so DC court, if I'm tomorrow in DC court, I would make it equivalent is as bad as if I'm just being in the Iranian court or the Cuban court or the Chinese court. I do not trust no court system, nothing that touches that big city, because I know people behind them, even good people, they buckle their knees. They don't have strong personalities.
They don't have the guts. They don't have the balls. They're worried about, They
don't have the guts.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
This is how society collapses, and the extremists take over. And ISIS tactic is the same way. They threaten you. They show you no mercy. Even if you submit to their demands, they'll still punish you.
Right.
That's how it works. Even if you submit to their demands, they will still punish you. That's how it works. Twitter does the same thing. Facebook does the same thing. All the big techs do the same thing. So realize that if you think that you are in part of this huge system that supports your agenda, you better think twice. Because the court systems, the way they have set them up, they've lined up all the small, lower-end court systems all the way to the federal courts to work through their own agenda. When you have prosecutors don't press charges against Antifa and BLM rioters destroying the cities, no charges, all the cases drop. All of a sudden now you have people from January 6th. they're
People from January
rioters,
6th
they're
have been imprisoned.
they're terrorists.
Have been imprisoned.
They've been in prison since January 6th without any charges.
When they get arrested, without any charges. Now
How
tell
is
me
that?
that's a human right.
Tell me
that's not a human right.
Those people should sue the crap out of the system. That's bullshit.
How are you gonna be lecturing China and other countries for human rights violation when you have they are political
sad
prisoners.
to say, but Putin was right. Putin threw it in Biden's face.
They are political prisoners.
Putin threw it in Biden's face and said the same thing to him. Anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit the share button.
But remember,
hit the
I've
subscribe
said that
button,
about
guys.
the courts. I've said that about the police many times and long time ago, and proven absolutely.
No, I agree.
Unequivalent right.
I can't
have
disagree.
to distinguish. So
I can't disagree. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and leave your comments below.
Stay free.
Share the video with your friends. Let's get more viewers, guys.
We love this country.
Let's hit 1,000 viewers. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers by next month or so. Let's get this movement going, guys. All right. We love you. We see you later.
God bless America.